So, can you really build strong bones on a vegan diet? It's probably one of the biggest questions people have when they're thinking about ditching dairy. And the answer is a big, resounding yes. But, and this is a big but, it's not quite as simple as just eating a bunch of spinach. So let's really break down the science and the strategy behind getting all the calcium you need from plants. This is the big one, isn't it? We've all seen the commercials, the got milk ads. It's been drilled into our heads for decades that strong bones equal dairy. So when you take that off the table, it's totally normal to feel a little unsure. Well, today we are going to replace all of that uncertainty with a super clear, actionable plan. All right, here's our game plan. First, we're going to figure out our target. How much calcium do you actually need? Then we'll dive into the tricky science of absorption. After that, we'll talk about finding that perfect balance, so you're not getting too little or too much. And then we'll put it all together with a sample day of eating. By the end of this, you're going to feel like a pro. Okay, let's dive right in. The vegan calcium question. Before we even start talking about where to get calcium, we got to know how much we're actually shooting for. And honestly, this is where a lot of the confusion starts. So if you look at the official recommendations, they generally say most adults need somewhere between 1,000 and 1,200 milligrams a day. But here's the thing, there's a little catch. See, these numbers were created based on diets that include meat and dairy. And there's some interesting research suggesting that plant-based diets might cause our bodies to lose less calcium. Still, for now, these official numbers are our best guidepost, so it's a really smart idea to aim for them. Now, for what I think is the most important part of this whole conversation, the absorption puzzle. Look, hitting a number on a tracker is one thing, but it's totally pointless if your body can't actually use the calcium you're eating. It's not what you eat, it's what you absorb. And the main villain in our story is a compound called oxalates. You can think of them as these tiny, greedy calcium grabbers. They're found in certain plants, and in your gut, they literally latch onto calcium and refuse to let go, which means your body can't absorb it. This is the single biggest reason why all high-calcium greens are not created equal. And here they are, the usual suspects. I'm looking at you, spinach. Spinach, beet greens, Swiss chard, they are loaded with those oxalate grabbers. So yeah, while they technically contain calcium, your body can't really get to it. It's a classic case of what you see on the label is not what you get. But hey, don't worry. For every villain, there's a superhero. Foods like kale, bok choy, and broccoli are low in oxalates, which means your body can absorb way more of their calcium. But you know who the real MVPs are? Fortified plant milks and calcium-set tofu. They give you a really consistent, easy-to-absorb dose every single time. Okay, so we've got our heroes and our villains. We know which foods to focus on. But how do we find the right balance? Because with calcium, it's definitely not a more is always better situation. There's a real Goldilocks zone here, and if you miss it in either direction, you can run into problems. Think of it like a bank account. If you don't consistently put enough calcium in through your diet, your body is going to make a withdrawal straight from your bones. And over time, that's what leads to things like osteoporosis. But on the flip side, if you go way overboard, especially with supplements, you could be looking at things like kidney stones. So the goal is to stay right in that healthy middle ground. And just to put a hard number on that, here are the official safe upper limits. For most of us, you really don't want to be going over 2,000 to 2,500 milligrams a day on a regular basis. And this is super important to know if you're thinking about taking supplements, because that's where people can get into trouble. All right, enough with the science and the numbers. Let's get to the fun part, the food. This is where we take all this info and see what it actually looks like on a plate. So, just as a quick reminder, this is our bullseye. We are aiming for that 1,000 to 1,200 milligram zone every day. But here's a little pro tip for success. Don't try to get all of that in one meal. Your body is just way better at absorbing calcium in smaller hits. So the best strategy is to spread it out. Aim for about 300 to 500 milligrams per meal. Okay, let's build our day, starting with breakfast. Check this out. A simple calcium power oat bowl can get you a huge chunk of the way there. We're talking around 350 to 400 milligrams. Easy. So how do we do it? Well, the secret weapon here is the calcium-fortified soy milk. Just 1 cup can give you around 300 milligrams right off the bat. Then you just toss in your oats, maybe some chia seeds, berries, and boom, you're off to an amazing bone-building start to your day. All right, moving on to lunch, we're going to build a delicious high-calcium green bowl using some of those hero foods we talked about. This is all whole foods, and it's going to get us another 300 to 350 milligrams. And the power combo here is the cooked kale, remember, that's our low oxalate superstar, and some white beans. Add a little quinoa for a base, a drizzle of tahini for some healthy fats, and just like that, you've totally nailed your midday calcium target. And for dinner, how about a classic tofu veggie stir-fry? This is a fantastic way to finish the day strong, packing in another big hit of 350 to 450 milligrams. The absolute key ingredient here is calcium-set tofu. You gotta make sure you check the label for that term. It's a total game changer. Then you throw in a cup of broccoli, another one of our heroes, some other veggies, serve it over brown rice, and look at that. You've easily crushed your daily calcium goal for the day. See? It's not about doing anything crazy or extreme. You don't have to banish spinach forever or only eat kale for the rest of your life. The goal is just to find a consistent, varied, and delicious balance that works for you. Okay, so let's bring it all home. What's the big picture here? Well, the final takeaway is that building and maintaining strong bones is about so much more than just chasing one single number on a nutrition app. So here it is, your final checklist for bone health. Number 1, shoot for that 1,000 to 1,200 milligram target. 2, focus on those absorbable hero foods. 3, don't forget protein. Your bones are basically a protein scaffold that calcium fills in and hardens. You need both. And number 4, and this is a big one, vitamin D. Think of it like the key that unlocks the door and lets all that calcium into your cells. Without it, the calcium's just stuck outside. At the end of the day, your bones are literally built from the food on your plate. Every meal is a choice, providing the raw materials. So the real question is, what are you building with?